they're not going to quit coming. I don't think that would surprise anyone. We've had facility plans in place using certificates of participation, county funding. We just can't build them fast enough. I think the jury is still out on the private corporate financing of school buildings. I know some of our current administrators are looking at across the state. That is a possibility. But I don't want to get into that too quickly because of some issues with ownership and supervision and so forth. But we need the space, and I think we owe it to our constituents to look at all possibilities to acquire that appropriate space where students can learn and teachers can teach. But I don't want to jump into something too quickly, and that would cost us in the long run.
As long as we've been doing this, and the Board of Education has been keeping our schools under that state and Board of Education, I think that should continue. I would worry I know it would be great to build schools with the private sector, but then where's the ownership? I'm hoping that we'll be able to do this so that the education that you just mentioned, that the education can continue to go on, and that those people who are hired to do that will be able to do that. I'm not sure how the private sector would handle.
This is an either-or question that I don't quite understand. I think we are focused on educating our children, and it's not in conflict with the question of building more schools. We've got to build more schools. I'm uncomfortable with privatizing for the same reason. I think we need to maintain ownership of our facilities. Thank you.
I agree that privatization of the school buildings is a possibility, but I also agree that there are a lot of issues that still have to be explored. And everybody's mentioning ownership, and that is the main one. Right now, I'll just use an example. If there's a safety issue at the school, we can fix it. The question's asked. If somebody else owns that building, it's going to cost them a lot of money, they're going to be more hesitant to do it. So while I think there's a possibility there, I think there's some issues. There is also no doubt that we spend a lot of time building schools, making sure they get built right. And I think Mr. Young would be the first one to tell you that there is other places he could spend his time. But unfortunately, we have to stay on top of that. And I think that's what the question is trying to get to. I just don't know that there's an easy answer out there right now.
I think the focus of education for our students is first and foremost, yes, the building stuff has to happen. I think that's what you hire those people for. We have a wonderful board and central office people to handle that. Great. I think the education stays in the I don't want to confuse you in my terminology here. Stays in the building, but let the people inside the building work on education. Not let the English teacher be worried about a building being built. Let the people who do that work about that. Encourage the people inside the building to work with the education and focus on education. And our kids will get what they need. And the people we hire to do that will do that. I don't think that, I think as simply as you rent an apartment, if you have a hot water bus, you've got a problem, and you got to find a landlord. Now magnify that into a whole school.